All right, we're going to start our coordinate plane lesson and unit with a background on how to plot ordered pairs on a coordinate plane. The first thing we're going to talk about is how points get plotted on a coordinate plane and the makeup of that coordinate plane. Coordinate plane is a set of two number lines, one on the horizontal and one on the vertical. The horizontal axis is known as the x-axis. We could plot a point on that number line at -3, and that would be the coordinate of that x-axis. Just like you would plot a number on a number line, that location is -3 for the x-coordinate. The y-axis is your vertical axis. Again, I could plot a point on that number line, and on that number line, +2 would exist above 0. When combining the 2 points together, the ordered pair goes off of the y-axis and above the x-axis to a location at -3 for the x-axis and +2 for the y-axis. So you'll notice that we had a point on the horizontal axis at -3 and a point on the vertical axis of +2, and those 2 points intersect if we combine the coordinates together at the ordered pair -3, 2. The quadrants that exist have the properties in that quadrant and they do not change. So for instance, all the points in quadrant 1 have properties that are +x and +y. In quadrant 2, all the points in that quadrant have properties of -x's but +y's. Quadrant 3, every coordinate is -x and -y. And finally, quadrant 4, every point has a +x but a -y. Whenever you find points in these quadrants, you should start to memorize that you can look at a point, a coordinate, and know what properties it has, as well as looking at an ordered pair and knowing exactly what quadrant it belongs in. So for instance, I know when looking at point A that it's +x and +y, which means I know that point A is going to be located somewhere in this top right quadrant because of its properties. Point B has a -x and a -y. So in graphing it, I know that it's going to be located somewhere here in this bottom left quadrant. This is the tricky one, point C. Point C is not in a quadrant. Point C is on one of the two number lines, on one of the two axes. We're going to find out where point C is when graphing these. When plotting ordered pairs, we're always going to move horizontally first. So if we look at point A, we have 3 as a positive and 4 as a positive. My horizontal movement from 0 is always going to be first. So I'm going to go right 3 because it's a positive movement, and then up 4 because it's another positive movement. And my first point A is going to be located at that location. Point B has a -1 as its x-coordinate. So again, starting at 0, 0, I'm going to go 1 to the left on my horizontal number line, and then down 3 on my vertical number line, and my ordered pair for point B is located right there. Finally, point C is 0, 3, which means it has no horizontal movement because there is 0 in the x-coordinate. 3 as my positive y movement is going to take me from 0, 0 up 3 on the y-axis, and my third ordered pair is located right there. These 3 points are all points that could be possibly graphed on your next activity. To complete this activity, you're going to graph all the points on your Halloween image that you will then connect each dot and find the Halloween themed image. You're going to color it in and bring it to the next class, as well as going to this website. After you go to the website, you're going to record your score. You only have to complete this activity once to meet the requirements for homework, but you can do it as many times as you want to practice this skill.